self-censorship is but a second nature to us.
So what is the point of the continued growth of language if not to get around these things via artful means?
Oh, artful dodging.
Otherwise, you just take a club and...
Raja Gul Mawaz Khan, thank you for joining me today. This obituary that we are gathered here today for, what the hell happened to Pakistan cricket, man?
The same thing that happens whenever there is one institution to be leached off for every stakeholder at every level. This is what you get.
यार ये
Okay, I'll change that. I'll change that.
No.
I'll change that. बस जी, boys ने try तो किया था, ये नहीं कह सकते. That's the other one.
This is the more government sanctioned.
This is the one that would keep me in my job had I official PCP job. I'd give you that answer.
Oh, अच्छा. नहीं यार, situation ये है कि there was a time when cricket used to raise my blood pressure when I used to get excited. Mm-hmm. When it used to mean something, to be Pakistan cricket fan. I feel like there was an ESPN article, slow terminal decline. Okay? Yeah, that's not a nice thing to read about your cricket team that you have been.
Newsweek's been saying it about your country for the last 5 years.
The CIA has been saying it for the last 50 years. Okay? Pakistan has the next, within the next 25 years.
No, we'll outlast them. Don't worry.
वो तो हमने जिद की वजह से
वो तो सर
वो हमारे और कोई there is no reason for us to have
survived this. 8 दिन नहीं हुए 300 साल, but no.
But yeah, Gul, do you feel like this is a symptom of everything else that's going on in the country?
Not just in the country, across the globe. Our cricket has been hit at 2 levels.
Oh shit.
Yeah. One level would be fine. That's just like, PPP ka dal do, PM inka PTI ka nikal do, PMLN kar do, Faujiyon ko la do, whatever. The churn is the churn, this is the churn. It doesn't matter. Babar Name mein kaha tha, if you open it, when he conquered India, he wrote the Baburnama, and the first thing he said in chapter 1 was, I have conquered the right land. मैं गया था समरकंद, मुझे थप्पड़ मार के 2 दिन बाद निकाल दिया था.
अच्छा.
यहाँ मैं आया हूँ, इनको conquer किया है. And these people are so used to being conquered. From the time of Alexander the Great to the Aryans, they as long as the roti kapda makan is going, only an external power will come and remove my family. लड़ाइयाँ होंगी लेकिन bloodline बेटों में ही रहेगी, which is exactly what happened when the English came.
Basically, our people, when we hear a new conqueror is coming, हम जाके अपने बादशाह set कर देते हैं.
Like, I wonder what he's like this time, So, and it's not our fault either. It's the landmass is too big.
Yeah.
And we are the most
and it's fertile. Damn fertile.
It's where else would you want to come? Like, बेचारे आते थे बर्फों से निकल के, like, बेचारे savages.
Yeah.
They'd be sitting in these lush mahals and stuff, and they'd be like, So fair enough. So एक हमारा मसला तो ये है, that's we are a depressingly conquerable people. So
that statement. Depressingly conquerable people. Yeah.
Depressingly.
Yeah.
But and the second thing he said is, कि यार the reason this place I've conquered is the people have no will to rebel as long as their day-to-day is not disturbed. And number 2, I have never seen a place where there is so much abundance that they eat grain with grain. वो दाल चावल की बात कर रहा था, but which is technically legume, but he said grain with grain. And so the point is that this is our cricket team, and for a bunch of political parties that couldn't get it sorted, for a military that was built on the shoulders of such great men with such sacrifices and such out of the box thinking. The way, if you take 200 million people, 1 billion, and how we are not just overrun by now is इन्होंने कुछ किया ही था, But again, when it comes to you start messing up outside, what do? You take it home, and that's unfortunately what's happened to our cricket team. It's like ये इसमें नहीं कर सकते, चलो हॉकी वो एक अर्शद नदीम So when you're saying हमारे क्रिकेट में प्राइड था, हमें हॉकी में भी प्राइड था, हमें बिलियर्ड्स में भी प्राइड था, हमें स्क्वॉश में भी प्राइड था, हमें हर चीज़ में प्राइड था. फुटबॉल भी हम पीछे पड़े होते थे.
सब में हम वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस रहे.
Yeah, we were. Well, not football.
No, not football. Sorry. Let me clarify that. We were never champions in football.
Well, in our hearts.
In our hearts.
But no. So what's happened is that basically everyone's turned their attention to this one institution, and it's the world is going in another direction. We have the facade of going. मैंने कहा था ना दो तरफ से लगा है. पहले तो ये लगा है कि जी well तीन तरफ से लगा है, to be very honest. I think it's I'm not a fan of it, but I'm also you can't take away the impact of the big three, and it's just to see it in a vacuum is ridiculous. It's just dishonest to yourself. नहीं छोड़ो यार big three. How can you छोड़ो?
And the biggest of the big three being like a mortal enemy and hating your guts and also being I think petty at times, right? Like the things you're seeing with the Champions Trophy where they just to be annoying took out Pakistan's name, said it was a technical glitch, shit like that. Like, is that even necessary?
No, it's not. But if you think the people running our board is bad, some of their provincial boards are run by people that are, you should look up some of the Maharashtra and ye wo jo their political families and their kids and the chachas and their mamas with much more money than anyone here has running a local board.
Wow.
So jo jaisa hamara ye hai, jaise Imran Khan in when he came and he brought that domestic and he cleaned up and streamlined the entire process. He put one Qaid-e-Azam trophy, a couple, and it was a very good format which was working. But again, in a 220 million person country, you cannot have a 6-team tournament for first class. That's just you need a few more. Can't be that
layers
stringent. And like they at least put a developmental system or a relegation system, whatever you want. They can't just be 6 people in that. What happened is अभी जब नए लोग आए उन्होंने सारा स्क्रैप करके अब चैंपियंस कप रख दिया, ये कर दिया, वो कर दिया. They've filled the first class calendar with superfluous I don't know what it's just a mishmash.
They lack significance.
Significance is one thing, but what is the point of them?
Yeah.
Are you developing a player? Are you trying to build a champion? Are you trying to bring players that you then grant NOCs and you send them to play leagues abroad and you tax them? That's also, I mean, what else are you going to do with all these bichare that travel with the team or do this and that and they never play? आपका वो कौन था अनवर अली जो लड़का आपको 19 under 19 guys like that, they're still human beings, they still have to eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they didn't get bowled by Shami for 0, that doesn't mean they're not people. That's a glib way of talking about elite. But हाँ मैं आपको 3-pronged जो बता रहा था, to get back to that is, one, the BCCI has created a situation where you are second-class citizens.
Clearly, yeah.
And in those second-class citizens, there is New Zealand, South Africa, yourself, and of course the few others that are not Australia, India, England. उसमें अब इन्होंने मटीरियल ये किया है कि उसमें से भी आप कैटेगरी बी ऑफ सेकंड क्लास सिटीजन बन गए. You're not allowed to play the IPL. And that's where most of the money is being made. That's where these people.
India won't tour you. All of those.
Not just that, they take away matches from you.
Okay.
आपने अपने 30 years के बाद आपने ये किया and your final might not be played here. So I mean, it's little digs, stabs in the faces, but you have to see what you did to them for a long time. Until 2000, Murli would get them out for 90. 98 में they called us for that series. अभी अपने Netflix पे वो very pro-Indian documentary देखी होगी. They pick one series out. Like by that point, we'd been thrashing them, taking out World Cups and World Series events. वो जो उसमें Champions Trophy एक हमारे थे उनसे. But the point is that we are now India in the 90s.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah. Getting our ass handed to us.
बाबर ओके सचिन भी करते थे ना
Yeah.
द्रविड था उनके पास क्या कर लिया उन्होंने nothing until Dr. Ali Bakr in 96 went to tour. You know, they came back after isolation. They were the band that was on South Africa for 20 years. They came back, and then I think it was 96 or 90, maybe 96. The South Africans were coming to play that the one day cup tha in India, and Dr. Ali Bakr called the head of the BCCI, and he's like, "Well, how much are the rights going for? We should talk about that." And he said, "Who was it? Was it?" Well, you can look up the BCCI president in '96, and he was a very shrewd and a good man, and he asked him about the TV rights and how we're going to do this, and उन्होंने आगे से बोला कि जी हम दूरदर्शन को 6 लाख रुपए देते हैं per test match to broadcast it. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, we make ticket money, we make this money, that money, but TV we have to pay to get. And Ali Bakr is like, do you understand that there are a billion people watching this more? And then he explained the concept of how much the rights.
Wow.
He explained the formulas of how to get that. And it was off to the races for the Indians after that. Uske baad to phir the whole landscape changed, which is why if you see from 96 to 2003, that when Sahara had the sponsorship and stuff.
Yeah.
That was
matches
all
in Canada and whatnot. All that.
I mean, since then, World Cup आपका दुनिया में बड़ा होता जा रहा है. So teams, 30 odd teams now, the 40 odd teams in the football, and cricket is going lower and lower and lower. Why? Because India got thrown out by Bangladesh in 2007, and their revenue just fell off a cliff.
Wow, yeah.
Now you talk about the bomb blast hua tha when the New Zealand team, and then the attack, and absolutely that's just not honest. But India में 8 bomb blast हुए थे in the month of October. जब मुंबई attack हुआ था 8 bomb blast थे. England was storming and they flew out, and the BCCI wrote to the ECB and said, you send back a coalition of the willing
Okay.
or we're not coming to England. उन्होंने हर गली कुचे में को सर आप खेलेंगे इंग्लैंड के लिए
Sir, bulletproof vest.
Sir, bulletproof vest. And these youngsters who wanted a future and wanted this as their profession and all, they said, yeah, we'll do it. And so they went back. They completed 7 ODIs.
Wow.
Terrified. Their families, you should read some of those interviews. They're like, no, please, it's not worth it. And he's like,
Shit.
So yeah, you can't say, oh, हम इतने बुरे हैं. हमें एक desperate situation में डाला गया, right?
Yeah.
We are underfed with now. That's problem 1.
Okay.
Second attack is economy तबाह हो गई.
अच्छा.
I mean, इनका नाथ है. You can sell a kidney, get a couple of liters of petrol, or it's nothing is working. And what is everyone doing is, for right or wrong, I'm not on any side, but it's quite clear that one person is taking up a lot of people's bandwidth.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous. Especially with your economic and your social and your Khuda ka naam hai. Anyway, the point is, because everyone's messing up everywhere and doing so in a way that is pissing everyone off, because everyone has a vested interest about the guy.
Yeah.
You can womanize, you can do whatever, but tum hamdard ho na aur sache ho about a cause. God helps idiots, And this wave, maybe, it will lead to other things. But the point is, everyone's like, yaar, main kis tarah, obviously bred in circuses. Hockey आप तबाह नहीं कर सकते, तो गोरे BCCI ने आपका एस्ट्रोटर्फ लगा दिया तो आपकी long range hockey खत्म हो गई, which is what you were good at. Now they just muscle you off the ball and close control it. But anyway, what happened and has happened is now, even if you have someone competent and for all accounts, he comes across as a very good man, Mohsin Naqvi, but he's just, how can you be an interior minister and run a sports board?
Mohsin Naqvi, I really think is
walking disaster.
Is cancer too strong a word or too mild
really?
A word? I think what he's done for PCB or what he's not done, he had promised a surgery. That surgery never took place. Champions Trophy came in.
Yeah.
I just think that you can't have one man, and now he's been elected Asian Cricket Council ka bhi chairman or president or whatever. I don't think one man can be running 500 different things, as you just mentioned. He can't be interior minister of the country, going for international diplomacy to when Trump gets elected, and then also happens to be running your Pakistan Cricket Board.
But think of how much you save on travel.
ये
एक ही टूर पे 3 इदारों का काम
क्या मुका दिया.
Easy.
सर डन हो गया. ही उसने रिपोर्ट किया मास्टर बॉस इट इज डन. ठीक है. Like
I will give him credit for the stadiums. Overspending out of a budget of starving people to have green paint on is, but it's done.
When has that ever been an issue?
It's never
been an issue.
But what I will say for him is that he did come in with good intentions, and he was led up the garden path by some seasoned path walkers. The path guides. Have you seen that? क्या नाम है उसका? उसने जो movie बनाई थी Stalker. It's an old Russian. Have you seen that movie? No. So Tarkovsky ki movie, Andrei Tarkovsky. So the premise is something has happened. It's post-war Russia. You don't know where in Russia. They've kept it in the whole Soviet Union. And the guy is called stalkers. Right? The stalker का काम है कि वो आपको इस irradiated इलाके में ले जाता है और वहाँ आपकी दिल की ख्वाहिशें पूरी होती हैं and all this stuff happens, but the government's controlled it off and it's there are various areas that are undefined, but you turn around and it could be completely different, and it's like they tried to make a Natalie Portman Zionist version called Annihilation, which was quite a good movie, but it's just basically a rip-off. उसमें एक चीज़ होती है स्टॉकर का काम ये होता है कि because he's so jaded by life and the system कि उसकी दिल की ख्वाहिशें भी ना are not enough, so it's not
पाकिस्तानी होता है
ना, that is not just that PCB का मुलाजिम होता है. So his job is to make money by taking people through this unmarked territory and back safely. He's a stalker.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so Mohsin Naqvi showed up at the hands of the stalkers. Now these guys have taken
dead souls.
Yeah, so now we're going to the third problem. I said there are 3 things wrong with our cricket, now we're coming to the third. First, the BCCI has chopped our legs off and we are bleeding out and we are now crawling. Number 2, all the political parties are using this as their bread and circuses. Number 3, the social media age. These guys are blogging, they're on chat shows.
The players?
The players.
Yeah.
The players. And you put, since you can take 2 charts as ye kamal hai wala jo Naseem Shah ka Pepsi ka commercial and his pace. Since those commercials came up, he has not crossed 133.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Anyway, the point is
these inverse proportionality hai.
Inverse proportionality hai. Now, because you see when you boil something and you get that nice slick layer of gandh, what you've got here is ex-players who feel like, yaar, agar main zamane mein hota na, main kya cheez hoti. I know how to make a... And when you see Shaheens Instagram, you understand their point. But yaar, come on, I'm 38, you're 38.
Yeah. 40 almost.
40 almost.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to be a TikTok star or like have a bouffant or like whatever? Like, okay, you may. That's fine. But you can't try and become just a Miyadad in every time you're the coach of the team, you're 42 years old. अच्छा प्लेयर खराब सलीम अलाही ने गलती कर दी मैं आ दूंगा टीम में भाई can you just chill out no I'm telling you I've obviously had a lot of time to think about this because if you look at Diego Maradona or you look at Javed Miyadad,
coach is ready to join the team anytime.
Not just that, itching to fight a player who is in his charge to have him thrown out ke meri jagah ban jaye.
Oh my god.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, and then you've got guys like...
We have fundamentally misunderstood the dynamics that go into building a team.
The evolution of life.
Yeah.
You've forgotten evolution of life. You're stagnant retard, which is not the right word, so stagnant moron. And the thing is, if you look at Cruyff or Beckenbauer or Zidane, They knew कि यार मैंने कर लिए, अब आ जाओ मैं तुम्हें कोच करता हूँ, and I want to win again as a coach. 96 to फलाना मियादाद मैं नहीं रिटायर करूँगा, came back in 2000, मैं even on the balcony, some of his histrionics, and I am the biggest Javed Miadad fan you will ever meet. But you cannot start throwing out 19-year-old kids because at 43 you're bored at home, having to live that Tom Brady existence of ab kya karu. I get it. Wahab Riaz, who Mohsin Naqvi has put not only as, I don't know, a demigod, I heard he put him as the sports
Minister of Sports, the caretaker government, man.
But like,
yeah,
what, where, and
USA Panke, he was inspecting roads jab barishein hogi thi. Do you recall that?
No, I don't pay much attention to him. But you know what? I understand the concept of getting an ex-player who's got HSN ka pada hua hai, and you get these guys in and you think, okay, but you can't just be like, here, this guy, I mean, it's behind the scenes, which will come to the players. He was untouchable. He was de facto PCB chairman because this guy's not here. They're playing in America. I think in Dallas or New York, he'd like arrange Qawwalis and this, that, and the other, ticketed or whatever. And that's not a you know what I mean? Like, kya conflict of interest to chhod hi dena, because he's. So anyway, my point is, guys like Wahab, Shoaib, Malik, not Akhtar, who is an absolute stalwart. और सारे इसको गालियां देते थे और कहते थे बदतमीज और ये वो, जो कुछ भी है, हमदर्द पेट्रियट आदमी है. इसकी जो गंदगी, बुराई, whatever you want to call it, is his business. And everyone's a little bit jealous.
And he's an honest guy too.
He's an honest guy, but everyone's a little bit jealous.
Yeah.
He went there, you didn't. Whatever. We all dream, Pakistani kids.
So your third point is the third pillar upon which holds up the edifice of the destruction of Pakistan's cricket is that the cricket establishment is rotten.
That was my second point. The third one was the players are all.
The players, okay. The players
they're uncoachable.
Players are uncoachable.
Uncoachable. You can't have uncoachable.
You cannot be taught.
I did a couple of coaching badges in England from Charlton Athletic, and it was very strange. So in the football management scope, there's the introductory, then for the kids, then UEFA C, UEFA B, UEFA A, UEFA Pro.
Yeah.
So this was when I was doing my C license, and this guy came in. This will actually tell you 2 points of Pakistan's sporting infrastructure. So we had our finals. 2 हफ्ते की ट्रेनिंग थी, फिर 2 महीने का पढ़ना लिखना था, फिर उन्होंने प्रैक्टिकल ट्रायल्स के लिए ट्रायल्स हमारे उस्ताद ने लिया. His name was Colin Reid.
Okay.
Colin Reid was an ex-Tottenham player who got injured very young and took up coaching very early.
Okay.
He works at St. George's. St. George's is where your England national team practices.
Okay.
So this guy coached Rooney, and he was there, and he came to take our final exams, and he's like, he pulled me to a side and he's like, I knew I had to come back to Pakistan. I knew that was an outlandish goal, but I wanted to just have, having done it.
Yeah.
So he took a liking to me, and he was like, if you didn't have the green passport, you could be in a system for reserve, nahi rakhte for people of color and stuff like that. So
you could have been a diversity hire.
I could have been a diversity hire, which is the dream.
Yeah, of course. First brown man. I mean,
you're the Wahab Riaz in the white country. You're like, do what you want, nikal lo. But you can't, because racism ho jayega. So anyway, usne mujhe bola, yaar, first I was like, iska kya angle hai? Why is he come in the middle of nowhere to become a football coach? Or usne ya to immigrate karna hai, kuch maine kaha nahi, maine sirf karna hai. So he said to me,
Sir, प्यो दी ज़मीन है, मैं सिर्फ शौक में.
But he goes, he's like, I'll never forget it. He goes, I've got to ask you something. He called me Raj. Raj, I've got to ask you something. I go, yes, Colin. What is Pakistan like? I go, yaar, मैंने तारीफें, मैंने कहा जी सिंध से लेकर खैबर तक
4 season multiple fruit
सर, हाईएस्ट माउंटेन्स, लोएस्ट
dry
वैली
fruit,
सर,
sir.
पाकिस्तान मैं शुरू हो गया ना. If anyone's doubting it, there's like proof. But so I started off with my usual, we have problems, but, and he goes, yeah, all that, I know, I've been there. I was like, oh, अच्छा, you've been there. फिर कहते यार मुझे समझ नहीं लगी. The Pakistan Football Federation called me for an interview. I was like, okay, now this guy is a very good coach. He coached Beckham and stuff, okay, right? Wow, yeah, like at the national level. So I don't know if he'll see this ever, but if he does, great man. He goes to me, he goes, I said yes to the job. I was going to be interviewed. He goes, I got my suit on. I was ready to be Pakistan coach. And I was like, all right, work our way up the ladder. Let's start doing the Asian. He goes, mujhe phone aaya hai. Mr. Reed, you are going to become Pakistan football coach? He goes, yeah, I'm considering it. How are you? And he goes, don't worry. 4 security guards, 2 gunmen will be protecting you at all times. You will be under protection, VIP. 6 gunmen will. And he's like, what? I'm just coming to coach football. लेकिन इन्होंने अपनी अफसरी में ना उसको इतना डरा दिया. He pulled out. We lost
they
a guy.
probably thought they're doing
they're
good
sealing the deal.
कि हम जो हैं इसको इतनी यार.
Because यही बंदे आपके आखिर में मेरा point ये है कि यही बंदों ने ये PCB में कर रहे हैं, right? So what you have here is, I mean, it's so vast.
और अब जो हमारे इंटरनेशनल कोच इतना हमने उनको वो कर दिया कि 15 दिन वो.
कौन सा इंटरनेशनल कोच?
जो
No, sorry, you've used a term. I would like you to, as a lawyer, back up your statement.
Sir,
आपका इंटरनेशनल कोच.
मेरा रोजा लगा हुआ है मुझे.
Sir, Gary Kirsten. No, sir, you have raised a very. Okay. Gary Kirsten. नहीं, sir. Gary Kirsten will be defended.
ठीक है.
How dare you? Do you know who Gary Kirsten is? Shoaib Akhtar's face, he bashed it. This guy didn't let you win the test match. This guy got, England was on top. This man played the Hansi Cronier वाला जो semi-final हारे थे. इस बंदे ने फिर जाकर कोचिंग की. Not needed. He is very well off in South Africa. इसने कोचिंग की. इंडिया को वर्ल्ड कप जिताया 2011 में गैरी कर्स्टन ने.
Wow.
You fired him without him having taken charge of a single match. Sir, even amongst the great realms of incompetence.
Yeah, that's...
To get a man who is a living legend, pay him, do the whole thing, run the thing, spend money. Spend your whole, they've compensated very well. We have a coach thing, we had shortlisted. और इस बंदे को आपने इतनी बेइज्जती करके निकाला without having played a game that he has, the world's coaches are not coming. Which is good because you deserve these jockeys. And again, Bichara Aqib Javed, it's not his fault either that the system is like this.
That's true.
Aqib Javed has produced a lot of very, very good players for Pakistan on his own, in his own academy. Unfortunately, any coach that comes into Pakistan has to, और देसियों को पता है, जो शोएब अख्तर नहीं कहता रहता, ये सिस्टम ऐसा है, ये मैनेजमेंट ऐसी है.
Yep.
जैसे हफीज़ का भी आपने एग्जांपल, when he was talking about how he was made the team management, he had team director or some sort of role like that in the previous establishment. And now what I like about Hafiz is that he started out as a very technical tuk-tuk player, but he was he was streaky. He was streaky. There was always his outside edge. There was always that. And because he'd taken so long to nurdle his way to 20 odd, that it's all going to be a waste, which was the main problem. Later on in life, after being dropped, this, that, something happens to you in your mid-30s. As a guy, one day I find at 36, you just wake up and you really don't care what anyone has to say. You're like, nah, इन्होंने कोई शुक्रिया करना है. इन्होंने गालियाँ भी देनी है और ये वो मुंह पे करना है. ना, इन्होंने मेरे बिल देने हैं. After 36, you really don't care what someone has to say.
That's true.
Right?
That's true, yeah.
Hafiz had that. And he was playing in the West Indies. And he's like, I was batting in the nets. and I don't know, these Dwayne Bravo, Kieran Pollard, these massive hitters of the ball, they just spent an hour with this golf swing practicing sixes, and I'm like, Acha, when are we getting to the technically? And he goes, today is just six hitting. And he's like, I was blown away, and and then you open the stance, that Razak baseball style, and because there's a lot of Dominican or West Indies, there's a lot of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I started taking the drills, and if you notice, the latter half of his career, he was effective spinner and a great hitter. Hafiz marta tha phir, which he could never do in the first half.
Yeah.
So this guy had to go learn that skill. He's like, I brought it into these guys, जो कह रहे हैं ना intent मारो, intent. कहता मैं लाया, पहले 2 महीने, पहले महीने डेढ़, मेरे जो batting coaches, bowling coaches, they're like, the boys are performing really. Because suddenly they all went back to form and they were just kind of ignoring these guys and like, हाँ यार तू batting coaching कराना. And he's like, I went to the guy. And he's like, sir, पता PCB board level से इनको players को यार just बर्दाश्त करो ऐसे. He's going soon. So Aqib Javed, having inserted himself in everything, is more a self-preservation tactic to buy himself time to show his methods work.
Okay.
It's not a lalchi admi.
Yeah.
Get it?
He's trying to play the system.
He has to play the
be
system.
effective. Yeah.
You threw Gary Kirsten out. Aqib Javed क्या चीज़ है आपके सामने?
Yeah, this is the second podcast I've done today, and previously we were talking about Afghanistan and Pakistan's policy on that. It turns out, we do a lot of own goals. There are a lot of unforced errors in our game.
Sir, what do you think?
There's a lot of paon pe kulhadi marna.
So there is primarily paon pe kulhadi marna. The direction and color and shape of kulhadi is provided by your enemy. जैसे आपने मुझे नहीं बताया वो वाटर ट्रीटी गए थे वो तो सोए रह गए थे or something. It's just I'm not saying the problems there are not there.
Yeah.
But you yourself unwilling. No, again, this is an economy. The problem with our cricket, to put it in a nutshell, is that this is us. Then there is a layer. We've been bleeding out so much that layer has got gangrene, has grown around the entire body. And the current setup are all plants growing in the gangrene.
What a beautiful picture you painted.
I mean, you see our lineup, don't you feel that? I feel that every time I see someone, Shaheen try and bowl a Yorker for the 900th time with a back injury to a man on 120 and get bashed over his head and be confused, flummoxed.
Ye kaise hua?
And he does that. It's like, maybe bounce him. No, chhati nikalni hai na.
Before we depart, I wanted to ask you, this last match with India, we haven't talked about the Champions Trophy, but like this last match with India, as hosts, we've basically lost, we've been kicked out, right? This last match, we crumbled under that pressure. Like we crumbled like a crumble cookie or a sand castle being tipped over by a large man.
Did we?
Yeah, we crumbled, dude.
How?
What do you mean how? Do you think our players could have took that pressure well? Do you think it was?
We did the same thing against Zimbabwe and Bulawayo. No, I'm not joking. We lost the match. We lost there. We were also cruising, and the same thing happened. We did the same thing to New Zealand 3 times at home.
So you're saying this is not?
No, this is our level.
Okay, this is we just played Pakistani.
This was
cricket.
not Pakistan, India. India was not concerned that you were here.
Okay, maybe my assumption was that in a Pakistan-India match we would play at a different standard, and I was, and
Who
you
would
are
play on a different standard. Tayyib Tahir. No, I'm asking you. You carry
Rizwan, Babar Azam, Shaheens.
Sir, in international sport, domestic sport, the rule is 2 players for 1 position. That keeps competition. सरफराज को आपने मिसबा और वकार ने जिस बदतमीजी के साथ निकाला था, यू डोंट हैव अ बैकअप कीपर. मोहम्मद हारिस वो लड़का अच्छा है, ये वो फलाना. उस्मान खान को आप यूएई से लाए, ही कैन बी अ गुड कीपिंग ऑप्शन. वेयर आर दोस गाइज? Nowhere near. There's Sarfraz, he's not getting dropped. Why should... See, the thing is, everyone wants to do well, and everyone thinks he's brilliant, right? generally speaking, you're not brilliant, and even if you are, you're misreading the context, or even if you are, your communication lanes aren't so good that you carry the same information with each other. Entire people hold information from you, right? Now, if you want to have two warring parties, you have Javed Miadad and Imran Khan, whose individual brilliance and patriotism and knowledge of the game and the fact that they're all in their 40s can lead you to victory. But to look at 92 and 99 and make those like that the game ta qiyamat ai raisi, like it's just not the case. So to come back to what we were talking about, these guys do not share information, they keep everything, and then so Babar, puri dunya tumhe gaaliyan de rahi hai yaar, just speed up. But abhi aapne isko kaha tha, we back him as captain, but we'll check. So you create these issues. Where can you go? You created Shaheen as captain. His heroic thing was कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मैं टेस्ट मैच नहीं खेलूंगा क्योंकि मेरी टांग में नहीं. Now शोएब अख्तर और फजल महमूद bowled what 73 overs when Sir Garfield Sobers made 365 not out, puked blood and it refused to be stretchered off because he said it's a new country and we will be seen as weak.
Oh my
So
God.
with blood vomit after 73 odd overs, don't kill me if the exact numbers, but it's in the 70s or something, the guy came off the pitch to keep Pakistan, you know. You can't, Shahid, because Shahid Afridi's now been through the system, knows how the abuse, and he's protecting Shaheen from the abuse to the point where now Shaheen feels untouchable, plus I have a career. And the way he let us down in that final where he wouldn't play with injury, you can't, okay, that is your choice. That's not right or wrong. As a fan, I have an opinion, whatever. That's your job. But don't pull out of a final because you have a hamstring sprain, you don't want to, and you don't want to play in Australia, the toughest, where people like Amir Jamal and stuff make names and careers. वो बेचारा अभी तक चल रहा because of that innings. You didn't show up, you didn't step up. Don't ask for responsibility. Don't ask to be a leader of men. You can't have it both ways. You can't pick and choose where if you want to protect yourself and you can't then want to be a leader of men.
So are you saying that we, that there used to be that insecurity amongst Pakistani players? Do you think we've overcome that? And so we can deal with it? Pressure isn't the issue.
No.
It's just being a shit team is.
But this same team was not a shit team 2 years ago.
So then what's the issue?
It's stagnation. It's stagnation.
Oh,
it's a fear of failure. It is you take Mike Hesson, the New Zealand coach, he, one of the great white ball coaches, he did a breakdown on our cricket recently. You should look it up on YouTube. But he's given a very good overview and he's talking about fear of failure and how as a team, if a fear of failure exists in a sportsman, there is no way you're getting anywhere because a sportsman should embrace failure as a learning point and stuff. Suddenly, nothing else in the country is working, everyone's watching this. Every political opponent is now also on you. So we've always had a rich tradition of Parchi and Imran Farhat, probably the worst player we've ever produced. Kept out heroes like aging heroes like Oves Anwar and brilliant talents like Yasir Hamid. The rumor mill said, oh, isko team mein kyun rakha hai? Oh, his father-in-law is a minister or a senator or something. He came into the selection committee, darwaze kholo, main tum saron ko dekh lunga. And then not only was Imran picked for Humayun,
they even picked his
brother
wow.
in the heroic side that was 60 and 62 all out against Australia in a day. Right? So this kind of thing has been going.
मुझे एक चीज बताओ, why is Misbah the heroine to the addicted Pakistan cricket team? Why do they have to bring him back? Why do we keep on doing this?
Because Misbah saved you when Salman Butt, Wasim and all were gone. You were going on that. Inzi left. You had a vacuum. And you were relying on Asif, Amir, Butt, ye, wo, fulana. And in सारों ने आपकी इतनी heroically नाक कटाई. फिर यूनुस खान को आपके लाया. My personal favorite Pakistani cricketer of all time is Yunus Khan.
I love him.
What a guy.
Genuine man, genuine player.
He's been my favorite since he just goes छह पे खिलाते थे बेचारे को. But anyway, the point is Yunus and Misbah took you out and brought you back to Izzat and actually, yeah, you were just known as cheaters.
Yeah.
Because in the time there was cheating, which was the late 90s, you carried it on publicly till the late 2010s.
Yeah.
So, everyone's like, ye nahi sudhrenge. So, it's all a mishmash of things, but you look at the talent is there. Imam is a really good player. Imam ul-Haq is a very good player. I don't care what anyone says. He may get a move on, may not get a move on. He's too old, yes. But his ODI average is touching 45, 50. You are not producing guys like him to throw him out. इसके खिलाफ क्या था? ये ड्रेसिंग रूम की बातें लीक कराते प्रेस में. Okay, then why'd you bring him back? Fakhr is, he's a walking wicket, he's this, that, हम इसको खिलाएंगे. Fakhr New Zealand के खिलाफ इंजर हुआ है. You have not played him for a year and a half and suddenly, Fakhr चला गया. So, 1.5 साल तो आप उसके बगैर खेल रहे हैं. वो हो ना हो.
But don't you feel that, these players, they've been on the roster for so long. Should we not be giving chances to younger players? Or do you feel that there's no one in the pipeline that we should be trying these guys? So whenever there's an injury...
It's kind of a good thing that's happened.
Achha.
These guys have hogged the spotlight for so long now. Absolute dearth of talent was covered up. Oh यार बच्चे हैं, बच्चे इतने कोई बेहतरीन नहीं थे पीछे.
अच्छा वाह.
जो अच्छे वाले हैं हसनैन, उसको वो एक मैच खिलाते निकाल देते हैं. He's the trump guy. He's the scapegoat. Batting में guys like Sahibzada Farhan, this guy Herrera now. This kid Ali Raza, they're now. But what they did was, you put your hand on your heart and you say, Iftikhar. Chacha, you call him, he doesn't like being, I don't like his face. You tell me that man with his bowling average of 50 and his batting average of 13 to 16 deserves 100 ODIs for Pakistan.
He does not.
यार ये तो याद है हम हंसते थे रॉबिन सिंह पे कि यार ये क्या प्लेयर ले आए हैं. हम रॉबिन सिंह बेचारे पे, और वो छोटा सा स्विंग करता था, and बेचारा रॉबिन सिंह was a man's man and he could carry it to the end. Iftikhar, you have to see a Fakhr Zaman interview on Iftikhar. And he's laughing, and because they're both Pathan, Fakhr is laughing at a nuance that maybe the rest of us don't pick up. And is translating it for us to understand why he's always in the team. He's like, we're practicing. Babar is, for all his brilliance, he's a bit of a darpoke. He's not that.
Yeah.
And he's a and which is fine. That's who you are, fine. You can't handle it, fine.
Gul, we could talk about this forever, but thank you so much for taking out the time. I wish we had more time, but alas, it is soon to be Iftari time.
Yes.
And we are in the holy month of Ramadan.
Yes. I like how we ended right at Iftari time because, that would be...
Yeah, we have to run.
Tough.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for this session. We talked about everything. This was just, frankly, it was a therapy session for me. I need to get this out of my system. I'm deeply frustrated. India currently, as we speak, is beating the crap out of Australia. And we're going to probably see a final not in Pakistan, sadly. Gul, thank you so much.